Okay, up next for the Terran unit production buildings is the factory. The factory basically builds vehicles. When you first construct it, you can only build Helions, and so if you build a reactor with the factory, you can only build Helions, but you can build them twice as fast. If you add a tech lab, that gives you access to siege tanks and some unit upgrades. To unlock the Thor from the factory, you'll have to build an armory. And when you construct an armory, like I said, it unlocks the Thors, allows you to build them from a tech lab factory. And the armory has some upgrades for vehicles and ships. So you can upgrade the weapons, the attack damage, or the defensive armor. Okay. And the Terran's last unit production facility is the Starport. The Starport gives the Terrans access to air units. When you first construct the Starport, without any add-ons, it allows you to build Vikings and medevacs. So if you put a reactor on it, you can build Vikings or medevacs twice as fast. Whenever you add a tech lab, it allows you to build Ravens and Banshees. And then to get access to the battle cruisers, you have to build a fusion core. And the fusion core just gives you some upgrades to your units. Okay, so that's all the main production buildings and the tech tree buildings. Now we'll go through the extra buildings real quick. First up is a Terran defensive structure, the bunker. This building does not attack by itself, but it does attack when you put units inside of it. So I've got some over here. Here's the bunker. So when you first construct the bunker, it's empty. And it just sits there, it can't attack or anything. But whenever you put units like Marines inside it, I mean not units, but infantry units, the infantry unit inside the bunker gains the ability to attack within that unit's range.
This better be good.
And the bunker can hold four infantry units, and later you can get an upgrade that increases that capacity to 6. And you can put not just Marines in it, you can also put pretty much any infantry unit in it, like Marauders, Ghosts, Reapers, and they all attack from the bunker with their specific attacks. Next up for the Terran defensive structures is the missile turret.
We could use some help here.
And the missile turret can only attack air units. It's also a detector, so it can detect cloaked units. So it's a good thing to have inside your base if you're expecting the enemy to build cloaked units like Dark Templars or Observers or something like that. So, not much else to say about the missile turret. It's got a few upgrades. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to cover the engineering bay. The engineering bay gives you access to missile turrets, and it includes infantry upgrades and some upgrades that you can use for the Terran buildings. Like, for example, there's an upgrade that increases the range of missile turrets. There's also an upgrade that increases, like I said, the cargo space of bunkers, and there's also an upgrade that increases the armor of structures. So anyway, that's the engineering bay. Unlike StarCraft 1, the engineering bay cannot lift off anymore. In StarCraft 2, the only Terran buildings that can actually lift off are the unit production facilities. So that would include the command center, the orbital command center, Starport factory and barracks, but not the planetary fortress, because I guess the planetary fortress is too heavy to lift off. Okay, so anyway, we covered missile turrets, and last on the list of Terran structures is the sensor tower. And what the sensor tower does is it, I don't know if you can see it, but on the mini map over here, around the sensor tower, there's a very faint ring that you can see on the minimap. And that just basically shows the range of the sensor tower. But what the sensor tower does is, if any enemy units travel within the distance of the sensor tower, they appear as these little red circles. So if an enemy is moving around under the fog of war, you'll know it. So it's basically a good defensive intelligence unit, or intelligence building. And I suppose you could use it in an offensive way if you were able to hide it near an enemy base. So anyway, that covers all of the Terran structures. Next up later on, I'll be doing the Zerg structures and the Protoss structures. So I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned.